Okay, now before I start, I'd just like to say I apologise for the poor quality. I'm recording this on a webcam while my real camera is currently being fixed. Now, this video is about the students who have been playing around with the stopping bell on the bus, and this has been going on now since last year, since I got on the bus, probably longer than that, because I'm only in year 10 and I live in Whitby. I've only been catching the bus. I've only been catching the Tower College Navigation Drive bus this year and last year. So that's 6 terms, because this is the last week of term 2. So that's 6 terms. That's effectively a year and a half of listening, of going along on the bus, listening to beep beep beep. Now, it's because of the way that the stopping bell is designed on the bus that Marna run, and Marna have to run that bus because it is pretty much the only bus that is big enough to run our run, because there's about 60 or 70 because there's about 60 people that get on our bus. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, this is not necessarily what the main problem is. The problem is not what the students are doing, it's how the bus drivers are dealing with it. Now, this year, it's been a bit better than last year. We've had some really good drivers. And, yeah, we've had some really good drivers, and the best thing that they do is just ignore it. Because at the end of the day, people just want to be arseholes, just let them be arseholes. So, to be honest, that's pretty much what I would do. Just ignore it and just like, oh yeah, so what? Joke's a joke. Nobody gets off at the bus stop. Big deal. Just keep going. But it's driving some of the bus drivers absolutely loopy. And I must say, I don't blame them. I think that they need to learn to grow up. Some of the drivers have told the people on our bus to grow up enough times. I think some of them need to grow up. I'll tell you some stories. We've had bus drivers that have started skipping bus stops. So it's been like, oh well, nobody got off at this stop, so I'm not stopping at the next stop regardless. And I'm pretty sure, well, I can tell you for a fact that bus drivers are not allowed to do that. Certainly not in the Marna fleet. Definitely not in, and I know for a fact that most bus fleets don't allow their drivers to do that. The bus that I just got off of has just gone back up the hill as I speak. Because I only got off of it about half an hour ago. It's just gone up the road now with that dickhead driving. So, yeah, so what's basically been... Yeah, so, bus drivers who've been skipping the stops, I don't know whether or not that's illegal. I'm pretty sure that it is. Because if I press the stopping button and request to get off a bus, then they have to stop. So, they can't just decide, oh, no, I'm not going to stop here. Regardless, they're not allowed to do that. But that's not the only thing. I've had bus drivers that have pulled in at bus stops and have waited. There was one bus driver who pulled in the bus stop and he didn't move for 20 minutes. He sat there with the front doors open, counting his money and everything. He just sat there. And people tried to talk him out of it. They had a year 13 and a year 12 talk him out of it. And he just said, I don't give a shit, it's not my problem. And he was saying, well, I can say, well, I would have loved to have said, now, that was before, now that was back when I was in year 9. That was before that I developed the balls to stand up to bus drivers. So, to be honest, some of these bus drivers are absolute idiots. Now, I'm not talking about all bus drivers, because Marna Coach Services have got some fantastic drivers. They've got some really, really awesome guys. I know plenty of bus drivers at Marna. Well, I don't know them personally, like I don't know their names or anything, but I recognise them, and they're really nice. There's even some Marna drivers, right, who even remember me sometimes, who even remember who I am sometimes. They recognise me, and they'll wave, and there's some drivers who will even wave to me as they go along on the road. Like, if I'm walking along the road, they'll wave, because they'll know me from driving my school bus. There's some really nice people, but at the same time, there's some real twats. Some right twats. Because what's happening is that these drivers are just doing things that they're not allowed to do. I remember one time earlier on this term, the bus driver refused to leave the college because he was just sitting there. Because when the doors are shut, you can press the button once and once only. So you just go beep, and then it won't go again because it stays pressed. But bus stopping bells are designed to deactivate when the doors open. This creates a problem that when the doors are open, that when either the front or the back doors are open, you can press it as many times as you like, regardless which bus door is open, whether it's the front door or the rear door. You just have to sit there and listen to beep, 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 beep. It is so freaking annoying. Like, really freaking annoying. Especially for somebody like me, who sits at the front to avoid the bullies. And also so that I don't have to get off of the back door to the back door, because I don't like getting off of the back door, because sometimes it means ducking under a very large tree outside the bus stop. But anyway, I'll save that for a totally different argument. So yeah, I'm sick of it. I must admit though, there's some of these bus drivers, and I'll go on a bit, like the bus drivers that drive our route, they're on a weekly timetable. They have to drive our bus for a week. And it's like, for God's sake. But I'm like, I've had to put up with this since I started Year 9, a year and a half ago. No, I mean, if there are any Marlow Coach Services bus drivers who are really pissed off about it as well, who have driven my route, like the guy who drove my bus today, get over it. I can't believe that these idiots who call themselves professional bus drivers can sit there and complain like that and treat their passengers like absolute crap when I have to put up with it all year, 5 days a week, right, every term. And I can't believe that they have the decency to complain. I mean, the bus driver who's been driving me today has been a right idiot. I mean, like, because I sit at the front, the drivers can sometimes overhear the conversations of the people sitting at the front. And that is just, but having the decency to butt in is just downright cheek. I mean, like, I was talking to my friends, I'm like saying that I'm so glad I've still got my temper. Because after we skipped the bus stop yesterday, I actually said to the bus driver, "Oi mate, you're not allowed to skip bus stops." And the bus driver turned around and said to me, "I'm the bus driver, I make the decisions." And I'm like, you cheeky little shit. The cheeky little shit thinks he has the decency to decide where the bus does and doesn't stop, because he sure as hell does not. And then today, I was talking to my friend, I'm saying, my God, if this goes on much longer, I'm so going to lose my temper. And then the bus driver said to me, "You come here a second? Second? I'll decide what happens on here, thank you very much." Right? So I said to him, "Well, I know that you're angry, but you only have to drive, but you've only got to drive this bus for one, you've only got to drive this bus this week, we have to listen to this all year." And you know what the cheeky bastard had the decency to say to me? He had to say, "Oh yeah, and I have to listen to you complaining all week." I'm like, you cheeky little shit. If I was a bus driver and a passenger said that to me, no, hang on, I said that all wrong. If I were, like, I'm pretty sure that that there were plenty of adults who would really have a go at that bus driver, or would instantly ring up the bus company for that. And to be honest, right, it doesn't matter how old you are. A bus driver's got no right to treat anybody like that, and to go and say, "Oh, I have to listen to you complaining all week." Cheeky bastard. I'm sick to death of this. So that is why that my dad is. So that is why that I'm going to get Tower College involved in this, because if Marna aren't going to do anything reasonable about this, then I'm going then I'm going to see if the bloody college will, because I'm sick to death of this. So yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. And my dad has said that if nothing gets done about this, then he's going to get the police involved, because the bus drivers have got to stop doing this. I mean, there was a bus driver who drives for transit coach lines who recently got fired for skipping stops. But what's happened today it just goes beyond that. It's just being plain rude. And no bus driver should ever treat his passengers like that, whether they're 14, almost 15 like me, or whether they're or whether it's whatever. Yeah, but this just goes downright wrong, being rude to passengers. And I'm going to give that bus driver one more day's chance. Now, because it's the end of the term, we finish early on Friday, and I am thanking God that we do, because that means that we will most likely have a different driver, and I am so glad. Now, because if that bus driver is going to be arsey and rude and arrogant and skipping stops tomorrow, then there might just be a formal complaint being made to Marner Coach Services, or I might at least threaten to, because I'm fed up. And I'm fed up of being treated like crap by Marner Coach Services and Marner Coach Services. So yeah, I think the Marner Coach Services drivers need to get their shit together and they need to start learning how to treat their passengers and how to drive a school bus. Because to be quite frankly, if they can't drive the school bus properly and take students home to where they need to go, which both students and parents, I suppose also the school, are relying on, and they're relying on Marner and Marner's drivers to do that properly. If they can't do that, then they shouldn't be allowed to drive the bus. Then they shouldn't be bus drivers if they can't do it properly. Or they at least shouldn't be allowed to do the school buses if they can't do it properly. And so, yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter pretty much. Now, I've got plenty of stories that I could tell you, but I'm not going to, because we'd be sitting here talking for an hour if I did. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.